Story. What if one conversation could change your life? These words echoed in May's head as she stood outside the community center, gripping the door handle with trembling fingers. The cold metal bit into her palm, but it was nothing compared to the storm inside her chest. She had come to this small city from rural China just 4 months ago, full of dreams, her suitcase packed with hope. But those dreams had quickly dimmed under the weight of misunderstanding and loneliness. May had always loved English. Back in her village, she'd watched old American movies with worn-out subtitles, repeating the lines under her breath, pretending she was in New York or London. But nothing could have prepared her for how hard it was to actually speak it in the real world. Here in the city, English wasn't just a subject, it was the key to jobs, friends, independence. And she didn't have it. Each trip to the grocery store was an ordeal. Asking for help at the bus stop was terrifying. She once cried silently in a hospital waiting room because she didn't understand the nurse calling her name. She avoided eye contact, nodded when she didn't understand, and kept to herself. But today was different. Today, she was going to her first English conversation class. When she walked into the room, her eyes darted around nervously. A whiteboard stood at the front with a warm message scribbled across it: "Welcome to Everyday English Conversations." There were about 10 people, from different countries, an older man from Turkey, a young woman from Brazil, a shy boy who looked barely 15. At the center stood Mrs. Thompson, a retired teacher with kind eyes and a voice like warm tea. "Hi, everyone," she said, her voice full of sunshine. "Today, we are going to learn English by simply talking. That's all." It sounded easy. It wasn't. May's turn came quickly. She was supposed to introduce herself, just her name, where she was from, and why she wanted to learn English. Her heart thudded like a drum. "My name is May," she began, her voice barely a whisper. From China. I learn speak English." A long pause. Her cheeks burned. Then, something amazing happened. The group smiled. Mrs. Thompson nodded warmly. "Thank you, May," she said. "That was beautiful and brave." The next hour flew by. They practiced greetings, small talk, asking for directions. "How do I get to the post office? What time is the bus? I'd like a cup of coffee, please." May stumbled. She laughed. She listened. She tried again. And week after week, she returned. The shy boy from El Salvador, whose name was Luis, became her conversation partner. He was learning English to help his mother with doctor visits. They would meet early and practice together, correcting each other gently, laughing at their mistakes. May taught him how to say, "Ni hao," and he taught her how to roll her R's. One day, Mrs. Thompson handed out slips of paper. "We're going to do something special," she said. "Everyone will perform a short dialogue. Just like a real-life conversation. You'll show how far you've come." May froze. Her mind screamed, "No, I can't." But Luis squeezed her hand. "We do together," he said. They practiced every day. Their scene was at a cafe. Simple lines like, "What would you like to drink?" "I'd like a cup of tea." But they made it real. May worked on her pronunciation, her confidence. She watched YouTube videos, practiced in front of the mirror, recorded herself and listened back. The day of the performance, her hands were shaking again. But this time, something was different. She remembered how far she had come, from crying in silence to speaking out loud, from fear to friendship. When it was her turn, she walked up with Luis, took a deep breath, and spoke. Clearly, smoothly, with joy. The whole room applauded when they finished. After class, Mrs. Thompson took her aside. "May," she said, tears in her eyes, "your voice matters. Don't ever stop speaking." That night, May walked home with a light heart. She stopped at the corner store and asked, "Do you have any rice noodles?" The cashier smiled and replied, "Yes, aisle 3. It was a simple exchange, one that would mean little to most people. But to May, it was everything. It was proof that she was not invisible, that she could be understood. And from that day forward, she no longer avoided conversation. She welcomed it, because one conversation really can change your life. Final message. No matter where you're from or how hard it seems, learning to speak English, or any language, is about courage, not perfection. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Speak, listen, connect. Your voice is powerful.